You're more than matter. Think about that for a second. What if everything you thought defined you, your job, your possessions, your routines, was just the surface? What if your true self, the part of you that's untouched by chaos, lies hidden beneath all the noise? It's a concept so simple yet so revolutionary that it can change how you see the world and yourself. Here's the truth no one tells you. Most of us live like we're trapped in an endless cycle, reacting to life instead of mastering it. We chase material goals, cling to fleeting emotions, and let the storms of life dictate our peace. But what if I told you there's a way out? A way to step back, see the bigger picture, and finally find balance? In this video, we're diving into the timeless wisdom of Purusha and Prakriti, a guide to transcending the material and discovering your true essence. This isn't just theory, it's practical, life-changing advice you can start using today. So if you've ever felt stuck, overwhelmed, or disconnected, this is your moment to break free. Before we get started, take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Ready to uncover the truth? Let's begin. Lesson 1. Recognize the observer within. Imagine this for a second. You're sitting in a room, and there's a storm raging outside. The wind howls, the rain lashes against the windows, but inside, it's calm. That's you? Well, the real you. While the storm outside represents all the chaos of life, your stresses, desires, fears, you, the observer within, are untouched by it all. That's Purusha, the eternal watcher. But here's the thing, most of us don't even realize that this observer exists. We're so tangled in the storm, our thoughts, emotions, and circumstances, that we forget to step back and notice who's doing the observing. The first step to freedom? Recognize that part of yourself. It's not your job, your body, or even your emotions. It's something deeper, something unshakable. Think about this next time you're overwhelmed. Let's say you're stuck in traffic, fuming because someone just cut you off. Stop for a moment and ask yourself, who's feeling this anger? That little shift in awareness, noticing that there's an I, observing the frustration, is powerful. You're no longer just reacting, you're watching. It's like stepping off the stage of a chaotic play and becoming part of the audience. Want to practice this? Try journaling. At the end of the day, write down your thoughts and feelings as if you're an outsider describing someone else's life. You'll notice patterns and maybe even laugh at how much you've let little things bother you. Or better yet, meditate. Start small. 5 minutes of sitting quietly and just observing your breath can work wonders. Don't overthink it. You're simply watching. And here's the kicker. Once you start recognizing the observer, life doesn't feel so heavy anymore. You realize that the storms will come and go, but the observer? It's always there, untouched, unshaken. But recognizing this observer is just the beginning. The real question is, what is it observing? Stay with me, we're just getting started. Lesson 2. Embrace the power of Prakriti. Now that you've recognized the observer within, let's talk about what it's observing, the dance of Prakriti or nature itself. If Purusha is the calm within, Prakriti is everything that moves, breathes, and changes. It's the world around you, your thoughts, your actions, the people you interact with, and even the circumstances you face. Here's the twist. Prakriti isn't your enemy. It's not something to fight or escape from. It's a tool, a partner in the grand scheme of things. But only if you learn to embrace it. Think about a river. You can fight its current, thrash against it, or let it guide you downstream. Prakriti works the same way. When you resist the flow of life, you exhaust yourself. But when you learn to work with it, life becomes smoother, almost effortless. For example, instead of dreading Mondays and dragging yourself out of bed, Why not design your environment to make Mondays exciting? A good playlist, your favorite breakfast, or a quick morning walk can shift your energy entirely. That's Prakriti at play, responding to the environment you create. But here's the catch: Prakriti isn't all rainbows and sunshine. It comes with its chaos, the impulses, desires, and distractions that pull you in a million directions. That's where awareness comes in. If you know that the urge to scroll endlessly on your phone is just a trick of Prakriti pulling you toward tamas, inertia, you can counter it. Replace that habit with something energizing, like journaling or reading a chapter of a great book like the Bhagavad Gita. Yes, even 5 minutes can shift your energy and perspective. And let's not forget about the role of people. Prakriti often shows up in the form of relationships, good, bad, and everything in between. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, who challenge you to grow, and who bring out the best in you. These are the ones who align with sattva, clarity, and balance, another force of Prakriti we'll touch on later. Here's a fun way to embrace Prakriti's energy today. Declutter one small corner of your room. Seriously, just one. Notice how lighter your space and your mind feels. That's Prakriti responding to your actions, showing you how even small changes in your environment can create ripples of positivity. So you've started to embrace Prakriti and its endless flow. But how do you manage its chaos? Don't worry, there's a roadmap for that. Let's uncover it next. Lesson 3. Balance the three gunas. Now that you've started embracing Prakriti, it's time to understand its engine, the three gunas: sattva, clarity; rajas, activity; and tamas, inertia. These forces are like the threads weaving through every thought, action, and moment in your life. The secret to a balanced life? Mastering their interplay. Let's break it down. Sattva is the state of balance and wisdom. It's when your mind feels clear, your actions align with your values, and you're at peace. Picture a calm morning where you're sipping tea, journaling your thoughts, or simply enjoying the sunrise. That's sattva in action, light and harmony guiding you. Then there's rajas, the energy of movement and passion. It's the driving force behind ambition, work, and the buzz of activity. Think about the rush you feel after completing a big project or nailing that workout. But be warned, too much rajas can spin you into overdrive, leading to burnout and anxiety. Finally, we have tamas, the force of rest and inertia. It's what makes you hit snooze or binge watch a whole season of a show. Sometimes tamas is necessary. Rest is essential, but too much? You're stuck in a loop of procrastination and lethargy. Now, how do you apply this? Start with awareness. Ask yourself, which guna is dominating my life right now? If you're overwhelmed with tasks and deadlines, rajas overload, balance it out by carving out some sattvic moments, a walk in nature, reading something inspiring, or meditating. If tamas has you stuck in a slump, shake things up with rajas energy. Put on your favorite upbeat song and clean your desk or tackle a small task you've been avoiding. Here's a practical example. Let's say you've been feeling unmotivated, classic tamas. Instead of pushing yourself to overhaul everything at once, start small. Choose one uplifting habit like drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning or setting a timer for 10 minutes of focused work. This simple shift toward rajas can snowball into a sattvic state of clarity and purpose. Balancing the gunas isn't about perfection. It's about tuning in, recognizing what your body and mind need, and adjusting accordingly. Life's rhythm changes, and so should you. But balancing these forces is just one part of the puzzle. What about all those attachments tying you down? Let's dive into that next. Lesson 4. Detach from material identifications. Here's a bold truth. Most of what you think defines you is just borrowed from the outside world. Your job title, your possessions, even your daily frustrations, they're all part of Prakrity's game, not the essence of who you truly are. Detachment isn't about renouncing everything and living in a cave. It's about realizing that you're more than your circumstances. Think about it. How often do we say things like, "I'm so stressed," or "I'm not good enough"? These are labels we attach to ourselves, creating a false sense of identity. But here's the secret. Stress isn't who you are. It's something you experience. The next time you catch yourself saying, followed by a negative emotion, pause. Reframe it. Say instead, "I feel stressed," or "I'm experiencing doubt." Notice how it creates a little distance. That's the power of detachment. A practical way to nurture this mindset is by decluttering, not just your physical space, but your mental and emotional one too. Start with something small. Unsubscribe from emails that no longer serve you, donate clothes you haven't worn in years, or even take a weekend off from social media. Each step lightens your load, reminding you that your worth isn't tied to what you own or consume. Relationships, too, often come with strings of attachment. We cling to people, expecting them to complete us or behave a certain way. Detachment here doesn't mean indifference. It means loving freely, without expecting others to fill your voids. Imagine being able to say, "I love you because I choose to, not because I need to." That's true freedom. And here's a fun exercise. Next time you're tempted to buy something new, ask yourself, will this add to my peace or my clutter? If it's the latter, leave it. This small habit can ripple into bigger shifts, making you less attached to the material and more connected to your inner self. When you start seeing through these attachments, life becomes lighter, clearer, and infinitely more joyful. But there's one more step to solidify this wisdom, learning to observe without reacting. And that's where we're headed next. Lesson 5. Practice stillness and reflection. Let's be real, life is noisy. Phones buzz, emails flood your inbox, and your mind never seems to stop racing. But here's a truth most people overlook. Without stillness, you'll never hear the wisdom within. Reflection isn't just a luxury. It's a necessity if you want clarity and peace. Stillness doesn't have to be complicated. It's not about sitting cross-legged on a mountain, though that's nice if you can. It's about creating small, intentional pauses in your day. Picture this. You're sitting in your car, about to head into work. Instead of rushing out, you take 60 seconds to just breathe and be. That's stillness. Or maybe it's the 5 minutes before bed when you sit with a warm drink and let your thoughts settle. These moments are tiny acts of rebellion in a world obsessed with constant motion. And then there's reflection, the act of looking back so you can move forward. Let's say you've had a rough day. Instead of zoning out with Netflix or scrolling on your phone, try this. Grab a notebook and ask yourself, what happened today? What did I learn? What can I do differently tomorrow? It's not about judging yourself. It's about observing. Think of it as a mental inventory, clearing out the clutter so you can focus on what matters. Here's a practical way to combine stillness and reflection. Start or end your day with gratitude. Write down 3 things you're thankful for. They don't have to be monumental. A great cup of coffee, a kind word from a stranger, or even the fact that you made it through the day. This simple habit not only grounds you, but also shifts your focus to the positive. Stillness and reflection aren't just tools, they're lifelines in a chaotic world. But there's more to mastering life than pausing and observing. Once you've quieted the noise, it's time to take action with purpose. Let's explore how to do that next. Lesson 6. Cultivate intentional action. Now that you've embraced stillness, it's time to shift gears, because wisdom without action is like planting seeds and never watering them. Intentional action is about moving through life with purpose. It's not just about doing more. It's about doing what matters. Here's a question to consider. How many times have you started your day reacting instead of acting? You check your phone, reply to emails, and before you know it, your energy is scattered. Intentional action flips the script. It's about deciding what deserves your energy before the day decides for you. A great place to start is by setting a simple morning ritual. Write down 3 things you want to accomplish, not because you have to, but because they align with your values. Let's break this down with an example. Imagine you're trying to improve your health. Instead of vaguely saying, "I'll eat better, try this," plan your meals for the week. Prep them ahead of time. Be specific and deliberate. This level of intention doesn't just improve your results. It shifts your mindset from, "I hope this works," to "I'm making this happen." Intentional action also applies to relationships. Let's say you want to connect more deeply with your partner or a friend. Instead of waiting for the right moment, create it. Schedule a time to talk, plan an activity you both enjoy, or simply show up with a thoughtful gesture. These small, deliberate acts build bonds that last. And here's a fun experiment. Choose one area of your life, your work, your health, or even your free time, and ask yourself, am I doing this intentionally, or am I just going through the motions? Then take one small step to bring more purpose into that space. Intentional action isn't about perfection. It's about progress. And as you start aligning your actions with your purpose, you'll notice something amazing. Life feels less like a to-do list and more like a masterpiece in the making. But there's one last piece to this puzzle, the wisdom that ties it all together. Let's uncover it next. Lesson 7. Seek liberation through wisdom. At this point, you've learned to observe, detach, and act with intention. But here's the thing, none of that will stick unless you seek something deeper. Wisdom isn't just knowledge, it's understanding that transforms the way you live. And when you pursue wisdom, liberation naturally follows. Think of wisdom as a lighthouse guiding you through life's storms. It's not about having all the answers, but about knowing where to look. For instance, many people chase happiness in external things, money, status, or possessions. But true wisdom reveals that these are temporary. What lasts is your inner state, your understanding of who you are. This is the essence of Purusha and Prakriti, knowing that you are the observer, not the observed. But how do you seek wisdom practically? One way is by learning from the past. Every mistake, every challenge, and every victory is a lesson waiting to be uncovered. Journaling is a powerful tool here. Write about what worked, what didn't, and what you do differently. Over time, patterns emerge, and those patterns are pure gold. Another way is through books. And not just any books, but ones that challenge your perspective. Take the Bhagavad Gita, for example. It's not just a scripture, it's a roadmap for navigating life's toughest questions. Or try books on philosophy, psychology, or even biographies of people you admire. The point isn't to hoard information, but to integrate it into your daily life. Wisdom also comes from asking the right questions. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try, "What can I learn from this?" It's a subtle shift, but it puts you in the driver's seat. You're no longer a victim of circumstance, but a student of life. And here's something most people overlook. Wisdom thrives in community. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, challenge you, and hold you accountable. Join a group, attend a class, or even start a discussion with someone you respect. Wisdom multiplies when shared. The journey to liberation through wisdom isn't a straight line, and that's okay. It's about progress, not perfection. Now that we've explored this deeper understanding, it's time to tie it all together. Let's see how these lessons come full circle in the grand tapestry of life. Now that you've uncovered the profound wisdom of Purusha and Prakriti, the question is, what will you do with it? Knowledge alone doesn't transform lives. Action does. Will you keep reacting to the chaos around you? Or will you step back, observe, and take control of your inner balance? Here's a challenge. Pick one lesson from today's video and apply it immediately. Maybe it's creating stillness in your daily routine, or perhaps it's reflecting on your attachments and letting go of one thing that no longer serves you. Small actions lead to big transformations. So, what's your next move? Let us know in the comments what resonated with you the most. Your insights could inspire someone else to take their first step. And if you're ready to dive deeper into these teachings, check out the Bhagavad Gita. It's an incredible guide to understanding the duality of life, and you can grab it super cheap on Amazon. The link is pinned in the first comment. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. We've got more videos lined up that will continue to elevate your understanding and help you master your life. And hey, click on this card right here to watch our next video. It's a perfect continuation of what we discussed today. Thank you for watching, and remember, you're more than matter. See you in the next one.